think it's...
All right, guys. Welcome back for round 3 of our Wednesday night standard showdown. Here we have a rematch of the Pro Tour finals for you guys. We have Sultai Energy in the hands of John Douglas. Not Douglas. It's the handsome John Douglas. And Jack Grannan. It's like Grannan or something. It's just messing with us.
Yeah.
And on Blue-Way Godfair's Gift.
Yeah. All right, so based... how do you think this is going to go, first off?
So I do believe that Sultai is favored overall if you look at the entirety of the match. But I think that Blue-White Godfair's Gift has the edge game 1, and if John doesn't see the cards in the sideboard like Appetite for the Unnatural, Negate, or Spell Pierce, whatever he's playing, then it's going to be tough for him.
Okay, yeah.
I was thinking the die roll matters a lot, so we're going to see who's on the play here.
It looks like both players have keepable 7s. Looks like Jack's on the play here.
Now, that's going to be real good for him. He doesn't have the turn 1 Minister, which would be ideal, but neither player has a turn 1 play.
Yeah, it looked like he had a Champion of Wits in his hand there.
Yeah, I think he actually does have a Minister.
Looks like he has double Champion of Wits, actually.
It's a very important card in this deck. I think he does have double Minister. It has a Minister. He just didn't have the untapped blue source to play it.
Now, is this the Blue Desert?
Yeah, that is called. It's Ipnu Rivulet. It's the blue desert that deals him 1 every time he taps it to add blue mana. It can also tap for colorless. And we actually see double Minister here.
Yeah.
So he had the Minister, just didn't have the untapped blue, and that's a pretty good start here for Jack.
Yeah. Now, I forget on what part of the end of the Pro Tour was this Blue Desert played in that list?
Yeah, because it mills you. It mills a player.
Oh, yes, you're right.
So you can mill yourself with it.
And we see John with probably the strongest turn 2 play he can with Winding Constrictor.
Turn 2 snack.
Yeah. Looking at his hand, though, it doesn't look like he has the Rishgar to back it up on his turn 3
Yeah,
play.
I actually don't think he has a turn 3
play.
Looks
like he has a lot of lands in his hand.
I believe he has an Attune, a land, 2 Hostage Takers, and maybe another copy of Winding Constrictor?
Maybe.
Or maybe it was another Aether Hub. I wasn't really sure.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to see with him shuffling through his hands, but that's all right.
So Jack here not playing a Champion of Wits. That is a little interesting to me.
Yeah. Drew a Walking Ballista, though. I'm curious.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think here you still are. He's gonna end up playing. He's gonna end up playing the Tune with Aether. If he doesn't have a 2-drop, another 2-drop, he'll play that Walking Ballista.
Yes.
If he has another Snake, which I think he does, I think he'll play that instead.
Yeah, it looks like he did.
But I believe he's going for the Walking Ballista.
Play out the Walking Ballista, get 2 counters on it. Pretty strong. Yep. Keep the in with the Winding Constrictor.
Yep. He's gonna mill him.
Look at the top.
Jack's gonna mill
Jack
before
Champion of Wits.
Sacred Cat and a land.
Yep.
So still no Godfair's Gift in his graveyard.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this? Oh, he's gonna. Oh, so this was his plan. He's gonna. He's hoping to mill a land and then animate Hostile Desert.
Interesting.
That's ballsy.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Yeah, I do too. It worked out in the end. He's just gonna kill the
trade the Ballista for the 2.
Now
I do think John should have cast Attune before combat.
Yeah.
Unless he really wanted to pretend like he had Fatal Push.
That is true. Yeah.
But that
and I think Jack comes out really far ahead here. With
I don't know if I'd say like really far, but he's definitely far ahead.
Yeah, he's definitely far ahead. Obviously, it's unfortunate that Jack is down a land, which means John is he's essentially like John was on the play. But I believe Jack has the lands in his hand to continue.
He definitely has another land, so he's gonna play a Champion of Wits here. The real thing is he going to be able to find... I don't think he has either part of the combo. Yeah. Or he has a Godfair's Gift in his hand.
He does a Godfair's Gift.
So now he has to find a copy of Refurbish.
Yep.
Thing is...
I believe we'll just see the discarding of the gift in the island here.
Yeah.
Although John... He is looking... It looks like he was looking at dipping the cast out?
I don't think... He definitely is going to want some form of removal eventually.
Yeah. Just getting in...
Yeah, the big thing here is that John has 2 copies of Hostage Taker in his hand, which can target artifacts.
Yes.
So when Jack eventually gets that Godfair's Gift in play...
You might just see John take it.
Yeah, so what's probably going to happen is we're going to see John take it with the Hostage Taker. Jack is then going to cast out the Hostage Taker, and then John would have Hostage Taker the gift again, but you see John's going to play a Hostage Taker to get rid of the
Yeah.
Champion of Wits?
Yep.
Oh.
There's the Refurbish.
Drew the Refurbish.
He has the 4th land in hand.
He does. So we're going to see Refurbish on Godfarer's Gift.
Yep. Bring it
That's
back.
going to get back a Champion of Wits.
Yep.
Or no, well, he's going to mill himself. Probably try to hit that Angel of Invention.
Yeah. I feel like
Which I think is correct.
Yeah.
He really wants to find the Angel here, so... And if he misses, it's not like he doesn't have anything to get back. Planning, land, and search for Azcanta.
Yep.
It's going to be milled here. Is he going to go for it again? I would.
Yep. I agree. He's going for it again, trying to hit it. There's
another gift. There's the Angel. Another gift.
And another gift, yeah.
So, yep, I think you go to combat. You get your Angel back.
Yep.
Swing for 6.
Yep. Lifelink.
Oh, he's going to go for the Champion of Wits?
He's thinking about it? Yep. He's going for the Champion of Wits. Must have the token. Yeah. I guess he just favors his position here. Maybe thinks he just wants to dig.
So I think
first.
What he's trying to do here is he's trying to dig to another copy of Refurbish.
Yeah, and he hit it.
And that's going to pay him off really well next turn.
Yeah, okay. I was curious to see if he was going to discard both Angel of Inventions or just the Angel and the Champion, but he favors the Champion in the graveyard. Maybe more card draw later.
Yeah, he discarded Angel Champion, right?
Yeah,
okay.
He discarded Angel and Champion. He also does have his 5th land, so he can just cast that Angel of Invention.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon, especially with the other Refurbish in his hand.
Yeah, depending, he might look at with 2 Angels in his yard already. He could look to go get the Angel back, play the other Angel, and just have multiple Anthem effects in play.
Yeah. Now here, I believe we're going to see John play Hostage Taker and
on the other Godfarer's
gift. Take that Godfarer's Gift. If you're Jack here, would you rather cast out that Hostage Taker to get your Godfarer's Gift back, or just get another Godfarer's Gift?
I think you just get another Godfarer's Gift, because John is, from what we see in his hand, he's still 2 turns away. But I think here he's not from any threat from John of just being able to play Godfarer's Gift next turn. So he has a turn to spare where he can get this Godfarer's Gift back, could press further his board presence, and then just cast out the Hostage Taker the following turn. Now he might wait until, I believe, is cast out only on creatures? Correct?
Oh no, cast out is non-land permanent.
Non-land permanent. So what we might see is maybe wait until John casts it, and then just cast out his own Godfarer's Gift.
No, I don't think we're going to see that, because he wants his Godfarer's Gift back.
That's true. Okay.
Now, Jack's plays here, his choice of what he's going to get back have been a little strange to me.
Yeah.
He's really favoring these Champion Wits over Angel of Invention.
Which is, in this case, he's just favoring card draw. Card
selection.
Which, from what I've seen, it looks like he drew a bunch of... He's just stacking up on lands.
If Jack had just gotten back Angel, John would be dead.
Yep, you're right.
Because he would have 6 last turn, putting John to... I don't remember exactly. I believe...
Yep, there's the Champion Wits from John, though, that he's taken with Hostage Taker. He's drawn 2. It looks like Aether Hub, Botanical Sanctum was used. He's just going to discard those 2 cards.
Yeah, so if he had gone back Angel this turn, or last turn and Angel this turn, then that's a total of 20 damage over the 2 turns, which would have killed John.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure why he's so attached to these Champion of Wits. I would have just, and it's not going to matter. He's still going to win the game.
He's still going to win the game, yeah. Maybe taking a slightly more
conservative approach.
Yeah, which I think is okay. Like I said, I don't necessarily agree with it. I might have even gone for Angel, Refurbish to get back the second Godfarer's Gift, and then that turn just playing, so you have 3 Angels in play, albeit one of them is not a 4/4.
Well, you didn't need to play, so if he had... The first turn he had Godfarer's Gift in play, if he gets back the Angel, he attacks John to 6. He was 18, so he goes to 12.
Yeah, he goes to 12.
Then Jack, on his next turn, gets back the other...
Yeah, and then he's just dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So... we'll see here what these players do post-sideboard. But while these players are sideboarding, just want to remind you guys that to check us out on our social media pages, we have a Facebook page that is facebook.com/TopDeckProductions, where you'll be able to find out our streaming schedule. and it also, I believe, has a notification of when we're streaming. In addition, we have our YouTube page that I talked about a little bit earlier today, with all our replays and archived coverage from our streams. Our Twitter page is at TopDeckProds, and we now have an Instagram page at TopDeckPro. And of course, as you guys very well know, there's our Twitch channel right here at twitch.tv/TopDeckProductions. If you follow, then you're going to be notified as when we go live. And if you like what we're seeing here, feel free to hit that subscribe button and help us improve the quality of our streams here. So, what do you expect to see coming in out of these players' sideboards here?
I expect maybe a few more ways from Jack to deal with the Scarab God, more roundabout ways, because obviously if he just kills it, John's just going to get it back. So we may see cards like Cast Out, maybe more if he doesn't have the full 4 in his main. He might.
My guess is he has 2 in his main. That was what Pascal Maynard had in his Pro Tour list.
Now, do you think he sides out any parts of the combo in favor of maybe cheaper creatures?
It depends on how Jack has his sideboard set up. So what Pascal Maynard did at the Pro Tour, I know he did side out parts of the combo in his Pro Tour deck. He also had 3 copies of Angel of Sanctions in his sideboard.
Okay.
He also had 4 copies of Fairgrounds Warden.
Yeah.
He went for a more creature-based approach.
I believe his entire sideboard, except for Authority of the consoles, was sideboard, so it was 12 creatures, 3 authority.
No, he had some amount of counter spells. He had.
I'm thinking of mono white.
Yeah, you're thinking of mono white.
Yeah, mono white vampires had a 15 creature card sideboard.
Yeah, and I know Jack has switched up Pascal's sideboard a little bit because Pascal actually had that Hostile Desert in his sideboard instead of the main deck.
Oh, okay.
So
interesting.
We'll see how close to Pascal's list Jack is running here. If he has them, I would expect the creatures to come in. They do get a little bit worse than from what Pascal did because John is probably going to expect it.
Yeah.
So, and then out of John, we're probably going to see ways to destroy and interact with Godfarer's Gift, such as Appetite for the Unnatural or Slice in Twain. These Sultai decks have been leaning a little more towards Appetite just because they're 1 mana cheaper.
Yeah.
And then we'll also probably see some form of counter magic to deal with any copies of Fumigate Jack might bring in. And if he has Death Gorge Scavengers in his sideboard, we'll probably see those come in too.
Yeah. I think my next question, Scarab God? Does he take out some number of his top end to favor these earlier aggressive cards, or do you think he still keeps that top end and just trades out some of his early game plays?
I would favor towards lean towards taking the Scarab God out. I think the way John's going to win this game is going to be attacking with his early creatures and then just having disruption for the Godfarer's Gift combo.
And you're just finishing off with some Scarab God activations.
Well, I don't think he's going to end up leaving Scarab God in. Scarab God is in a weird place versus Blue-White Gift where you can't really interact with their combo in the early turns of the game. You can't play Scarab God till turn 5 because I'm pretty sure John is not playing Servant of the Conduit.
Yeah.
Most of these Sultai lists aren't right now.
Yeah.
And
I remember specifically this Sultai version that was more with the Winding Constrictors, Walking Ballistas, Rishkars. I believe it didn't play any copies of
Servant. No, and they normally don't.
In favor of the more aggressive play.
Yeah, they're trying to be more of an aggressive deck.
Yeah.
So John, his earliest he can play Scarab God is turn 4.
Okay.
The earliest he can activate is turn 6.
Yeah.
By then, Jack's already gonna have done a little bit of work with Godfarer's Gift, and if he hasn't, John might be just winning that game anyway.
That is true.
So Scarab God is just a little more. It's just a little slow against this version of the deck. Against the Esper versions, then it might be better because they're trying to go a little slower and they can't rebuild as fast as this blue-white deck can.
I'm already into the game with John on the tune.
Yep, this is the optimal start for both players here.
Yep. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see what. Hopefully, we'll see some sideboard cards. We can see where both of these players have come in, what they've brought into this matchup.
Yeah, I definitely think if John doesn't see his sideboard cards, I think this is going to be a pretty
cut and dry.
Yeah, pretty easy game for Jack.
Yeah,
so
very similar to what we saw the first
John's
game.
Probably going to be hoping to see his sideboard cards. We see one here in a copy of Duress.
Yeah.
Which is a little awkward. You do not want to take that Godfarer's Gift. You don't do their work for them.
Yeah.
I think here you take the Chart of Course.
Yep.
Which is what John decides to do.
Yep, which would help Jack dig looking for those refurbishes. He's already got the three other lands, so he's just looking for refurbishes. He's
looking for refurbishes and a good creature to get back.
Yeah. Yeah. And right now it just looks like Jack has another 1-drop in to help mill. He does find a cast out. Curious. He may end up needing to use the cycle ability. Although
I don't think so. Not yet.
Not yet. Well, no. I mean, like, if he doesn't draw what he needs to. He's just getting in for damage with the 1-drop here, progressing his board.
Yeah, I think it might just be a little bit better just to have the cast out as a source of removal.
Yeah. Looks like John here going to play out this Glint-Sleeve Siphoner.
Yep, he just wants to try to get aggressive.
Yeah, get aggressive, get some card advantage going. Yep. He doesn't, and with his 4 energy, he can just sit back for a couple turns on it if he really needs
another
to.
land is not what Jack wanted to see.
No, not at all.
I believe that was just a passing of the turn here.
Yep.
So he's looking to mill himself.
Yeah.
But he wants to find something like a Champion of Wits, a strategic planning, an opt, a...
Now, does Jack have any good ways of getting creatures other than Champion of Wits? Does he have any way of getting a lot of his spells back to his hand?
From his graveyard?
Yeah.
No, he does not.
Okay. So maybe he's just looking to hit a Champion of Wits and then eternalizing it to his card advantage.
That is slow.
It's quite slow.
That is going to be really... That's not going to be fast enough. We're going to see you're a Hostage Taker on a Minister of Inquiries. I do know that John has played a lot of Esper Godfarer's Gift, so he knows how these decks operate, and he's at a point where he's kind of smelling blood in the water. He knows Jack has not had that many good draws. He knew his hand was originally kind of weak.
Yeah, from that turn 2 Duress?
Yeah, turn 2 Duress.
Turn 2 Duress, yeah. Jack hitting a Angel of Invention, a Refurbish, and a Plains. The Refurbish isn't going to do too much.
Yeah, it's not going to do anything in the grave. So we're going to see a cycle here, which I like. I like this cycle here.
I like the cycle.
I saw it was a blue card. I didn't see what kind of blue card it was.
But that does give us good. We see,
I mean, he's going to be glad to not draw those 3 lands, or those 2 lands. It was a strategic planning is what he drew.
That's going to be quite good here. Drew another land. Unfortunate. Not exactly what he needed. He's already got, I believe this is his 3rd land in hand. He is going to play it out. It will come into play untapped.
He's at a total of 4 lands in play, 1 in hand. So I think
1 in hand,
that's about where he wants to. At some point, he's probably going to want to get up to 7 lands to maybe
flip that.
Eternalize a
Champion of Wits.
Champion of Wits, yeah.
Yeah.
I expect here to see strategic planning from Jack.
Maybe hope to...
So he did board in Angel of Sanctions.
Yeah.
That is something that he just revealed, and it's 2 lands, so he's found a lot of lands in his top 20 cards or so, which is unfortunate for Jack, but with this Angel of Sanctions, he can still play ball.
Yeah, and it does help his next couple draws. I expect if John's... He did put the Angel of Sanctions in the graveyard, but it does seem if John doesn't draw enough ways to close out the game in the next 4 to 5 turns, it seems like Jack might be able to stabilize this game.
Maybe it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it will be tough.
We'll see what is happening. If I was Jack, I actually would have taken that Angel with the...
Put the Angel of Sanctions into his hand to take away some of the creatures on John's side of the board. You're just going to attack here, get in for some damage. Second main doesn't looks like going to play out a Scavenge.
It's a Deathgorge Scavenger.
Deathgorge Scavenger, yes.
That's going to be pretty good here. It's going to exile his
Angel of Invention.
Angel Invention.
Yep.
It's gonna get his
Angel of Sanctions.
Yeah, I actually, if I was John, I probably would have just grabbed that Angel of Sanctions. Although he's not actually at a risk of it being embalmed anytime soon, so he's probably fine. Although
there's
another pair of angels there milled for Jack.
One of each, actually, I believe.
Yep.
Invention.
Draws a land.
Yeah. He does have that cast out in hand, though, so we might see, with drawing another land, so we might see a cast out on the hostage taker.
So I think here you actually probably have to do it on the Death Court Scavenger.
That's what I was going to say.
That's going to disrupt your game plan a little too much.
Yeah. Although he does have enough threats currently in the yard in 2 Angel of Sanctions. Yeah, he will get the Death Court Scavenger.
Yeah, and he can start embalming Angel of Sanctions in next turn, I believe. Actually, I don't know if it's 6 or if it's 7. I think it's 6. I think it's 5 and a white to bring it back.
Yes, I believe so. I'm curious. There was a turn earlier on in the game where Jack had, he had 6 or 7 cards in hand. Would it, if you're in that kind of state where you have 4 or 5 lands in hand, obviously it's not optimal, but would you maybe look to get to that 8th to force your Godfarer's Gift, or would you just keep it in?
Well, Godfarer's Gift is 7 mana.
Yeah. So
I think that's what Jack's playing to right now. I think he's playing to hard casting Godfarer's Gift. Embalming costs 6. It's 5 and a white.
Okay. So maybe he's looking to embalm the Angel of Sanctions next turn, and then the following turn with his 2 lands in hand, just play out the Godfarer's Gift.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to end up happening.
Okay.
I think he's going to chump the Long Tusk Cub and then mill himself end of turn.
Yep. Or mill in response to, because he can make it bigger. Yeah, looks like he put a search, so
Jack's gonna take 4, go down to 10. It was a land to search for its counter and a charter course.
Yeah, charter course. Yeah, thank you. Yep, he's got 2 lands in hand and Godfarer's Gift. So
we're gonna see here probably an embalmed Angel of Sanction, and now John, I believe, does have another copy of Death Gorge Scavenger in hand.
Yep. Curious to see if he wants to play it this turn or hold on to it. Jack does have 2 copies of Angel Sanctions in his graveyard, so he will be able to get at least 1 back the following turn.
Yeah, I would play it this turn. It forces your opponent to make a decision about, or he plays Scarab God.
Or he just plays the Scarab God here, yes.
That's going to probably force Jack to Angel Sanctions that.
Yeah, he's going to, he will force, John will be forcing Jack to get at least one of the angels back. He's going to go ahead and grab the embalm it, get rid of the Scarab God. Yep. So
we'll see. Well, now this Long Tusk Cub though is going to be a big threat for.
Although I believe
Jack.
John is only on 2 energy at the moment, which means he can at the most make Long Tusk Cub a 3/3. I believe he's been drawing extra cards these past 2 turns. I believe he's going to opt out this turn. He's already got a pretty decent size hand. It looks like he has 2 hostage takers. Is that what I saw?
It's a lot of hostage takers. We're going to see here he's going to get to exile the token and get a Scarab God back, and that's going to be a big swing for John here.
Quite a large swing, yeah. And if it doesn't look like he has enough mana left to open, but if Jack doesn't, he might.
Oh, this game's over.
Oh, yeah.
John has negate in hand for when Jack ends up hard casting this Godfarer's Gift.
Yep. There's 7? He just goes for it.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
And then he's negate, and then Jack's going to concede.
Yep, there's the game. Yep.
So we're going to go to game 3 here between these 2 players, which is what I expected from these 2 decks. Jack is probably going to get game 1 a decent percentage of the time, and then when John is on the play after sideboard, things are really going to favor him. Now we're going to see if he can recreate that kind of start when he's on the draw.
Yeah.
He didn't have probably his best start. I think his best start still involves turn 1 Attune or turn 1 Duress into a threat on turn 2, which is really going to be what he wants to see.
Yeah, that turn 1 Duress was quite good against Jack, too. He took his only charter course, his only real way of early digging and card selection.
Yeah, that was a fairly weak hand that we saw from Jack, but I think he's still correct to keep it.
Yeah.
It had turn 1 Minister, which was nice, and it had the Charter Course to try to smooth out his draw.
Yep.
The duress for John was unfortunate for Jack. His draw probably would have lined up a lot better if he had been able to discard that God-Pharaoh's Gift, draw a couple extra cards.
Yeah, it would have. He would have been able to discard it, bring it, draw a couple extras, and then it looked like he would have drawn into a refurbish in the next 2 turns, which getting to that point would have put him well ahead of John and put him into the same position he was game 1. So we'll have to see if either of these players can get explosive hands on this game 3. Jack will be on the play if we go by standard of how it played out the last turn.
He's gonna choose to be on the play.
Yeah, he'll choose.
There's no way he chooses to be on the draw right now.
Yeah. Although the one thing I am interested to see is we haven't seen any Rishkars out of John, so I'm curious if maybe he just hasn't drawn them. Maybe he doesn't favor that kind of card in the in his deck going into the post board, or if.
So most of these lists only run 2.
Only run 2.
It is legendary. It's not great to draw in multiples.
Yeah.
It's really only there so you can have like that
turn 1
absurd start of turn 2 Snake into turn 3 Rishkar, get a 4/4 and a 5/4/5 on turn 3.
And then if you really want to, you can go turn 4.
You can play Scarab God on turn 4 if you were.
You can play a Vraska on turn 4.
You could play Vraska on turn 4. I'd be surprised if John was playing Vraska.
Yeah, I would too, but you can go a 5 or 6 drop on the 4th turn, which is in a deck that doesn't typically play ramp in Servant of the Conduit, quite strong. So for this deck, so we currently fixing some of the microphone issues. We apologize, but hopefully they will be fixed throughout the rest of this round and into the 4th. So.
Okay, here. So we're going to game 3. Hopefully both players keep 7. We can have some good, decent games of Magic.
Yep. Both are getting ready to look at their opening 7s. Hopefully we can get keeps.
That's what I just said.
That's fine.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so
looks like 3 lands, a cast out, a God-Pharaoh's Gift Charter Course.
Or
is that 4 lands?
So I think this would be a. Oh, well, it's keeping.
There's a snap keep from John too, so we'll have to. We didn't get a good look at his hand, so we'll have to.
I didn't see if Jack had access to blue mana. I don't think he does.
It's not. It looked like he did.
I think he's.
Is he? Oh, well,
he does now. Oh, okay, he had an island.
He had
okay.
Island, and he just.
I couldn't see it.
Yeah, it's okay. Charter Course. He'll draw a couple cards. He'll discard that God-Pharaoh's Gift.
We see a Jace's Defeat being drawn from Jack, so that might be something. It can counter Scarab God. It can counter Hostage Taker.
Yep.
It can counter any of the counter spells that John brought in, such as that Spell Pierce we see in his hand.
Yeah.
That's going to be really good here.
We'll see how John plays that. What kind of cards he values. Does he look to counter the turn 4 Refurbish?
That's probably what he's going to be looking to counter. That's going to be something that he really doesn't want to happen.
Yeah, and here's my take on it. Do you think Jack's going to know to play around it?
So Jack ended up drawing a second copy of Refurbish, so I don't think he's going to. I think he's just going to try to jam. He's going to force John to have it.
That is true. Yep. And with this Gunsteve Siphoner, I believe he drew an extra card this turn with his second fast lane.
Yeah, he also drew a copy of Blossoming Defense.
Yes. That's
going to be really good here.
Yeah. So he can blank.
Oh. So, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
John is going to just play a Deathgorge Scavenger and exile that God-Pharaoh's Gift now.
Turning off both Refurbishes.
Yeah, there is no threat of the God-Pharaoh's Gift coming down on turn 4.
And it looks like Jack doesn't have a play here.
I mean, he cycled the cast out, so.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he has the 2 copies of Refurbish, and he doesn't have an actual
There's an attune from John.
thing to
do
so. This was a really good Deathgorge Scavenger here for John.
Unknowing to him at the time, because all he sees from across the table is Jack.
Yeah, now, if Jack had gone for the Refurbish, it wouldn't have been the end of the world for John.
No.
Jack actually right now doesn't have anything good to get back.
Yeah, that is true.
So that's
I don't
something
believe,
he also needs to find.
Yeah, I don't believe he has any creatures in his graveyard at the moment.
So if I was Jack here and we know that I don't have anything I'd want to play, I would have played the Ipnu Rivulet instead of this island. So just to mill myself.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually care about cards in his hand right now. He just wants to put creatures and Godfarer's Gifts in his graveyard.
Yeah. We'll see an attack here from John getting. Looks like he's just getting the Charter Course. Maybe.
Yeah. Right now he's not. There's nothing he really needs to exile.
Yeah.
So he's just going to make the clock quicker.
Yep. Reduce his card
6 damage, and this is a. So Minister is a good draw here.
Minister's a very good draw
from Jack.
Yep. Plays the Desert. I believe we'll just see a play out of the Minister. Maybe an activation of this Desert at the end of turn.
Yeah, that's probably what we're gonna see. Although if he does do that, I think he's probably still gonna do it, but unknowingly to him, that's going to play into Spell Pierce.
Yeah.
Spell Pierce actually currently was not gonna counter the Refurbish because Jack can play as a 6th land next turn, and then Spell Pierce doesn't counter Refurbish. But I do believe we're gonna see that Rivulet sacked.
Yeah.
So.
But Jack does have a second copy of Refurbish, so even if the first one gets countered, he still has a backup. But also,
he's under a lot of pressure right now.
John has assembled a very, very good clock here, hitting for 6 damage a turn.
Yeah. Also, when the Godfarer's Gift goes into the graveyard, Jack needs to get it back that turn. Otherwise, it's going to be exiled by Deathcourt Scavenger.
And Jack is currently at 6, so I think what Jack is looking to see here is milling of himself, hitting exactly Godfarer's Gift creature, and then drawing a land. He doesn't do it, so.
So we drew the Angel, so that's actually a pretty good draw. I think we're just going to see him play that here.
Yeah, that'll just be a hard cast of Angel and Inventions plus a land drop. And that'll give Jack a very good set of blockers, because without a creature to exile with the Deathcourt Scavenger, I'm sorry, without a non-land in. Oh, I'm sorry. Looks like there's still.
Deathcourt can still hit lands.
Yeah. Well, he can't give it +1/+1.
Yeah, he can.
Well, I mean, I was going to say that, but he still has a non-land.
Well, even if you exile a land, I'm pretty sure Deathcourt Scavengers just is non-creature or creature.
Or creature, yeah. Creature gain 2 life, non-creature +1/+1.
Yeah. Now John does have a Hostage Taker in his hand.
Yep.
So I believe here we're going to see John end up playing a Hostage Taker on the Angel of Invention.
Yep.
Hopefully Jack makes the 2 servos.
Yeah, he does.
Which he does.
He has, at the moment, a very good suit of blockers on the ground.
Yeah, so
John is in a very
John
good position
here
at this point.
really wants to see a Walking Ballista. I believe that is probably the best draw in his deck.
Yeah, at this moment, yeah. And he will draw 2 cards using the Glensiege Siphoner's ability. Looks like he drew an Aether Hub, which will give him 2 energy, and I believe that's just another land. So
yeah, I think he just drew another land. Maybe another copy of Spell Pierce. Are there 2 copies of Spell Pierce now, or maybe it's Spell Pierce and Negate?
Yeah, I think it's a Spell Pierce and Negate. Drawing a Swamp is his second card for the turn.
So I do expect here we're going to see a Hostage Taker on Angel Invention.
Yeah, and if Jack were to have any form of removal, John can just back it up with Spell Pierce or Negate if he so chooses.
I highly doubt we're going to see any kind of removal for a 1 blue or 1 white out of the Godfarer's Gift deck. Yeah. I guess he could be playing Slash of Talons.
He could, but
which would kill the Deathcourt Scavenger.
Yeah,
but
as we can see, he doesn't have that. He's just sitting on a pair of Refurbishes and some lands. So, curious to see what John goes for here. Does he start off by attacking, maybe forcing some blocks out of Jack, or as we both agree that starting off with the Hostage Taker to take away the Angel?
I think that's his best line of play here.
Yeah, it's definitely one of his stronger lines. So,
but it looks like John disagrees. He's going to just jam.
Yep. Get some energy. Get rid of the other Charter Course from Jack's graveyard.
Yeah, just make it a 4/3, increase his clock.
Yep. Make it a 4/3, make it a little bit harder to block, although without getting rid of the Angel, both of the servers are 2/2s.
Yeah, that's the real reason I wanted him to get rid of the Angel there. It pumps up the rest of his team. It allows the Minister of Inquiries to just bounce off the Winding Constrictor.
Yep.
And it lets him just trade 1-for-1 with the Glint Sleeve Siphoner, or just have like the Minister trade with the Death Court Scavenger. I also think Jack is highly incentivized to block with this Angel here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the Minister can't trade off with the Death Court Scavenger because it has +1/+1.
Yes, but if he double blocks it, he can keep one of his creatures.
Yeah, so I think the best line of blocks for Jack here is probably
a servo on the Glint Sleeve Siphoner.
Well, the Glint Sleeve Siphoner has Menace.
Oh, you're right. My apologies.
So I think it's some form of double block with the Angel and the Servo, and then another double block with a Servo and the Minister.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd rather kill the Winding Constrictor or the Glint Sleeve Siphoner. I definitely want to get the Death Gorge Scavenger off the table.
Yeah.
I think his best play is to leave the Glint Sleeve Siphoner in play. It kind of sucks because John is going to draw a lot of extra cards.
Yep.
But the other two are just so threatening. And it looks like some form of those kind of blocks is what Jack is going to end up going with here.
Yeah. It does look like, though, John is going to lose both of his creatures here due to the double blocks, and Jack will lose. Also, he will lose 2 of his own.
Yeah, so I'm actually really interested to hear what John decides to do with this Angel. What he could do is, if he doesn't want to kill it, he could assign all 4 damage onto the Servo, but I don't think he's really worried about that. The only reason to do that is to keep Jack from having a good creature to exile and get a 4/4 with, but
he could also choose not to kill it and then just take it with Hostage Taker post-combat.
Also could happen. I think I like John's play here of how he's deciding to do things now. He has Negate and Spell Pierce to back up, so what we're probably going to see happen over the course of... Oh, wait, he had that Blossoming Defense.
Yep.
So that's actually going to say... I forgot about that card, so that's going to save his Death Gorge Scavenger.
He's going to get in for 3 points of damage, half Jack's current life total.
4 points of damage.
4 points of damage to half Jack's.
Sorry, it's 2.
It's 2. He's going to half Jack.
I meant to say 2.
Yeah, it's all right. He's going to put him down. He's going to put Jack down to 4 with that Death Gorge Scavenger keep, and only with Jack only on a Servo token, he really needs to hit a creature or some way to progress his board. Looks like John's just going to play out a Nissa on 1.
So
plus it to 2, plus it to 3 to...
I'm not a huge fan of playing out this Nissa here. You're giving Jack the option of somehow... I'd rather hold up double counterspell.
Okay.
Because somehow Jack could have something like play a land into... play a refurbish with a counter. Now he doesn't have.
From what we've seen though, it doesn't look like Jack brought any counters. He draws a land for the.
Well, Jack has a Jace's Defeat in his hand.
Oh yes, my apologies.
The problem is he doesn't have a Godfarrow's Gift in his graveyard.
Yeah. And unless John wants to counter Charter Course, I don't think we will see him be playing any counter spells on any of Jack's spells. Mainly, Jack doesn't have good targets for Refurbish at the moment, and Jace's Defeat doesn't hit anything at the moment. Jace's Defeat does... He could have... I guess he didn't have any mana untapped in the previous turn, otherwise he could have countered the Nissa, because it is a blue.
Yeah, he only had 1
he only had
mana untapped. Yeah. He's going to cycle Irrigated Farmland here, trying to find something to do. He finds Angel of Sanctions.
Yep.
Which he's going to play here, probably get rid of the Death Gorge Scavenger.
Yep. Or
do you get rid of the... No, I think you have to get rid of the Death Gorge Scavenger.
You have to. You can still double block. You can still double block the Glint Sleeve Siphoner.
Yeah.
And he can't... The only thing John can reasonably kill with it is the Servo, unless he pumps it up somehow, which, as we can tell, he doesn't have a way to currently
So John
do that.
still has that Hostage Taker in his hand.
Yeah. He can take the Hostage Taker attack and get him for... Put Jack down to 2. I believe Jack is currently at 4, unless...
No, the Angel Invention has lifelink.
Oh, you're correct.
So he gained 2 life and lost 2 life.
Yeah, he would have gained 2 lost.
So something we might see Jack do is he's going to take the Glint Sleeve Siphoner.
Yep.
He could have also... He could have taken Nissa with that. And then because the Nissa has X in its converted mana cost, it would have died when it re-entered play. Like, it would have...
Yeah,
entered the battlefield and then immediately gone to the graveyard due to state-based effects.
Yeah, because X would equal 0 in that case.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to be a line that realistically lets him win the game.
No. I think if he was going to do that play, he would have realistically wanted to be playing around Hostage Taker. But I think he just wants to get a creature off the board. I'm surprised he didn't take the Death Gorge Scavenger, just because John is going to get an attack trigger and he can take that Angel of Vengeance out of Jack's graveyard.
I think the reason that he took the Glintsleeve Siphoner over the Death Gorge Scavenger is the Glintsleeve Siphoner is a lot harder to block.
That is true.
And he has a servo that can chump the Death Gorge Scavenger, and he really doesn't want his Angel of Sanctions to die.
Yeah. Plus, he can stunt John's card draw. Currently, John was able to draw 2 cards a turn with currently sitting on 6
which
energy.
Really would have started to pull him further and further ahead.
Yeah. He's already pretty far ahead in this game, as we can tell, but he's not. I don't think he's completely out of it yet. Maybe with this, maybe with this Hostage Taker on Angel of Sanctions. Does the creature when the creature comes back into play, it will still continue to have 70 seconds because it will re-enter, so he won't be able to attack with it this turn. But he can set up. He is getting his board presence back. If he wanted to, he is keeping up 3 mana, so he has access to both Negate and Spell Pierce going into the next turn. So he can blank a lot of Jack's plays, since Jack doesn't have a whole lot of creatures. If Jack were to happen to straight up draw Godfair's Gift here, John could just counter it.
So we're going to see here if Jack decides to block with the servo token or not. I think you do. I don't think that servo is really doing anything.
No. It's essentially gaining him 4 life, which is pretty relevant at this point.
Well, it'd be 3 life. John exiled the Angel Sanctions,
right.
which gains 2 life instead of
putting him back.
It looks like Jack took it, so he values that servo token for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Maybe an extra block on the turn.
Yeah, I think what he was hoping to draw is maybe like draw a Fumigate.
Yeah.
I guess, and then have Jace's defeat up. I don't really know what that does.
Well, it wouldn't have mattered just because John has 2 counter spells.
Well, yeah, but Jack doesn't know that.
Yeah, Jack doesn't know that. Yeah, getting 4, putting all back.
Yeah, so Jack, I don't think really has that much he can do. He has no artifacts to refurbish.
Nope.
Nothing. His counters don't really do anything. That's going to be the game.
He just scoops him up.
And the match going to John Douglas over Jack Grannan. Sultai Energy 2-1 wins over Blue-White Godfair's Gift.
Yep.
All right, so we will see you guys back. Hopefully, it shouldn't be too much of a turnaround time. That match took up pretty long, so hopefully we're looking at about 5 to 7 minutes here for our final round here at our Wednesday night Standard Showdown GameSwap Mason. We'll see you guys in a little bit.